the project's always had three core objectives, which are to collect really good quality data on public attitudes, but not just to collect it and shelve it, but to really communicate it and make it part of the public policy debate. So to really get it into the public arena and help influence policy. And the third part, to build capacity, and both for data collection, but also for analysis and increasingly for communications of the findings. And I think we've had a big impact in all those ways. I think, you know, at the time that we started, public opinion data wasn't really part of the context in Africa. Countries were democratizing, but leaders could still say, I know what the people think. And increasingly, as people have become more and more aware of Afrobarometer and our work and our findings, it's become increasingly expected that the public's perspective is taken into account in policy discussions. People know now that the data is there and that it can be brought in and that it should influence policy. We get a mix of responses, but also I think we are pretty clear that even in countries where publicly the government isn't necessarily happy with what we're reporting, that behind the scenes they're often paying pretty close attention to the findings and what people have to say about the work that we're doing. One of the challenges for Afrobarometer, again, is that we have tons of data. We cover a lot of different topics. We're in almost 40 countries now, and so you've got all kinds of data about all kinds of different things. And in the early days of Afrobarometer, what we used to do after we did a survey was this big country report that kind of packed everything into one report. And we realized eventually that that's just kind of too much to digest for people. And so what we've done over time is increasingly create new kinds of outputs that aim at different levels and different audiences, and we continue to try and do that. So we started with these big country reports, but now we put out dispatches that just take one topic, or even a press release that just takes one finding to put it out into the public domain. And we put things out in infographics and in a lot of different ways so that we can reach audiences who are dealing with the data at a lot of different levels, from journalists who are sharing it with their readers or their listeners, and trying to break the data into that kind of digestible and actionable chunks. So instead of putting out this huge report with tons of findings, we'll put out a short report or even a press release that tells the government what the public thinks is a priority problem, or you know, some actionable piece of the data that we'll put out there and to make it more usable to people.